Hey everyone, this is Louis7, and if you haven't heard, Standing Stone Games just dropped some really big news for the Lord of the Rings Online, and that's that they are adding a new Legendary server, or they are also calling it Legendary Worlds. They use those kind of interchangeably. So the gameplay in the background will be somewhat related to that. I'll have to get in a hurry, but anyway, when I initially heard the news, and from what I've still seen, a lot of people still think of this server as being a vanilla or classic LOTRO server. So that's what I initially thought, and I thought it would slowly progress through like the past updates and expansions, so like Mines of Moria of LOTRO, and that is not what the Legendary server is. So the Legendary server it's a subscriber or VIP only server, first of all, but it simply takes the Lord of the Rings Online, the game as it is, and it locks content and sets a level cap, and that's all it does. In addition to that, it does give anybody who starts there a fresh start in a server, and it's not really tied to the NA or EU servers. So what the server does, again, is it sets a level cap for old content and it restricts content beyond that. So the server starts out at level 50 for Shadows of Angmar content, locking anything released after that and setting the level cap to level 50. To add an example to how that works, the Erebor instance cluster scales below level 50, but that content will still be locked initially in this Legendary server because it was not originally made for level 50 players in Shadows of Angmar. So what this also means is all the current classes and races, including Rune Keepers, Wardens, and the like, are all in the game, even though they weren't in there for the actual Shadows of Angmar vanilla release of LOTRO. Again, I want to emphasize it's just taking the live version of LOTRO and setting a server-wide level cap and restricting some content you do. So this is actually similar to what some chips and groups already do to experience old content on level. And a specific example I have in mind is if you've heard of SLOTRO, which progressed through various levels and content as a pretty large group, I think, to run old content on level, like again, Shadows of Angmar content. So LOTRO did post a FAQ on their website, which I will put in the description of this video. But this is just a single server. If you aren't familiar, both the EU and NA servers are actually in the North America, so this server is going to also be located there, but it'll serve for both type of players. And yeah, that's just some pretty big news. So now I'll switch more to my opinion of the servers. So again, at first my impression was that it was a classic server when I very first read the news. And that got me pretty excited because it was still really unexpected to me just in the first place. But that got me excited for some classic Shadows of Angmar LOTRO to really experience that. I didn't actually play much back then, but I played in Mines of Moria and like, what was the next one? Mirkwood, when not too much changed, but then they added the new trait trees, which will be in this Legendary server and all that stuff, and changed the questing and how much XP it takes to level, a bunch of stuff like that, which will be in the Legendary server that I thought would be reverted back to how it originally was in Shadows of Angmar. So at first, when I found out how this Legendary server actually functioned, it was a little bit of a letdown. Just from my initial reaction to the classic server. But after taking a little bit more time to think, I do think this server is going to be really good, and I will definitely be trying it out. I'm thinking about doing a series on it, actually, of like leveling a character, whatever type of stuff I do, so that's something we'll have to see more. And this server is being released, I don't know if I mentioned this, in November sometime this year, so it's coming up pretty soon. So yeah, I'll have to make a decision on if I do a series on it, what class or anything, but aside from that, I'm pretty excited to at least try it out. I did see that the progression will be going pretty fast. I saw somebody say 4 months, but I cannot find that information officially given out that like every 4 months will do whatever big update. So like update 1, update 2, all the way through 23 will be 4 months, but I'm not sure if that's actually true, but if it is 4 months, that's going to be a little bit fast for me. I'd personally rather like a year for every big update. So in 1 year it goes to level 60 cap for Moria, and then 1 year after that it's still in Lothlorien. Maybe not quite that, but for me, I just prefer something slow like that. But I know a lot of people like the content coming through faster, so that might not be as big of an issue for most people playing it. And there are a lot of things in the FAQ. I'm actually reading that now to try and just give my opinion on some of the things I see. Again, Rune Keeper, Warden, and Bjorning are all there. High Alpha are there. Trait trees are all there, how they are now. And I like the current state of trait trees, so I don't see too big of a problem with that. There are some of the some parts of that that are annoying, but they won't be relevant for level 50 at least. And I enjoy playing all Rune Keeper, Warden, or Bjorning, so that'll be pretty fun. High Elf, I really like that race, but I always want to skip the intro, so they are going to continue to develop the non-legendary worlds, which was they have intention of just like going as normal for the non-legendary current ones, so I think that's good. And yeah, a lot of the shared account items in the current servers you won't be able to move onto the legendary server. I also think that's good because then that'd give you like a head start advantage. And one thing I did see is XP boost will be available in the legendary server, so you can like level really fast. But you cannot initially use Gift of Valor until like their level cap is increased, so I'm guessing you can use Gift of Valor once Mines of Moria is released, for example, but that's just what I'm guessing. So yeah, I actually do see this. They plan on expanding the content of Legendary Server approximately every 4 months. Again, to me, that is personally, I think, going to be pretty fast, but I'll have to actually play it and see if it's that fast when it's actually like going through the content, but we'll see. I do think that's a bit fast though, personally. Legendary weapons, will they be available? Not at launch because they weren't originally with Siege of Angmar, so that's going to be interesting. And once Mines of Moria, once they get through that, you will be able to get it. And I don't think the imbuing system will be there because that wasn't until level 100. And yeah, you can do scaling instances like Great Barrow and scale them up to level 50, it looks like. And again, I already mentioned the example of like, say, Bells of Dale, you cannot play because it wasn't originally released with Shadows of Angmar for level 50 players. And this server will have the festivals and stuff like that, unless it's a specific festival for levels or areas where the legendary like story where it's gone through is not there yet. And I already mentioned character boost. So yeah, this is a VIP only server, so it looks like any expansions and quest packs you already purchased you can use them. So since I already bought Mines of Moria all the way through Mordor, I'll be able to use all those. And again, with VIP, you already get all the areas, so quest packs aren't too relevant to this, I don't think. Since you're VIP anyway, you just have the quest packs, basically, is how that works, and you have to be VIP to even play this legendary server. And yeah, I think that's most of the things I saw that I'm like particularly have an opinion on. The facts kind of long, kind of short in a way. But I just wanted to share my opinions on all this, and again, inform you all of the update if you haven't heard. It's been probably a few hours since I get this video up, since I just got home and like recording this right away, trying to scrounge up some gameplay real quick to put in this as well, and then edit it real quick and upload it. But anyway, enough about that. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and let me know what your thoughts are on the legendary server, because I want to hear what you all think and if you'll be playing it maybe. And if you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing for more, and thanks for watching or listening, everyone.